Alright, now you guys now know the Buick is running and it's about ready for demo season 2012. How I got it working is I finally decided to spend some money on the damn car and bought a new solenoid, which is right in there now. Got from Napa for about 16 bucks. And the reason I got a solenoid is because, well, here's the old one. Right there is the problem. This piece was completely gone. I don't even know what the spring does. There's a wire right here, you can kind of see. That would connect to the piece that actually connects to the starter, and that piece is messed up. This side is perfectly fine. It's just right here and that wire. I think it might have been just that wire too. I never saw that wire before I took it out or anything, so I'm really not sure. But yesterday I did quite a bit to this car. My camera was dead, so I have no film of it doing any of that stuff. But I sure can tell you everything I did. Yeah, I did that, and I connected the radiator hoses and put a bunch of water in there so that it would have somewhat of a coolant system. I wouldn't burn up the water pump or anything. So that's how I kept that cool when I had just my test drive. All I did was test drive it once, and then I took it outside once so I could work on the rear end. And here's the rear end now. It's not bent exactly like I want, but I did learn that the only thing that's bent on it somehow is this bumper shock. Has to be somehow. I'm not sure where at. It has to be up in there a little bit. Unlike this one, which bent upwards perfectly. Because I looked at the frame, and the frame is still perfectly straight. Like, it looks like it came right off the factory. It's still straight. I did not believe it until I looked. But the way that I bent mine, most people say to strap it down right across here. That works perfectly fine, and it probably works better than what I did. Thing is, I have nowhere on the ground to strap it to. So what I did is, I did the opposite. I put boards down right under here, and what I did is I took the backhoe, I took it and I pushed down right there. Pushing that down, it kind of picks this up a little bit. So now my bumper's not dragging. The tires are no longer rubbing. This one I think is rubbing in one little spot. I'm not sure where. This tire still barely holds air. I aired it up yesterday and it still has some in it. I'm not real sure where they're rubbing at. I could hear it whenever I was driving and hitting bumps through my yard. I think it was this donut that was rubbing, but I really could not tell because I really wasn't paying too much of attention to it. What I'll do is I'll show you my setup that I was going to do before, and I'll show you why that didn't work for me in the video that I had. Where is that at? Well, anyways, wherever the box is at, when I ran the two wires, I was running one off of this one off of this, where this one should be. And I was basically connected to the starter. And what I had is, ran the wires the length of the way, just to realize that the wire I was using was not thick enough to carry this current. Like, this wire that takes it to the, I'll come up here and show you. It's actually a battery cable that takes it straight to the solenoid. And I mean, it kind of made sense to me now, looking at that. My little thin wire did not carry it the length of the way. If I cut a little piece off and I touched this to that, it would work just fine. But the thing is, I can't do that in a demo. So, you know, I was kind of out of luck there. So, yeah, the Buick it's back, running like a champ. The thing I have to do left to it is obviously it needs a front bumper pretty badly. I need to figure out some way to connect that fan in there. And I also need to get a radiator. We attempted to hook that one on there. This is one of the truck. We attempted to put that one in there yesterday just to see what it could do, and it doesn't line up at all. I was planning on just ratchet strapping it in and hoping that would work, but no, it did not work at all. But I mean, until I find a radiator, it runs just fine. The way I have the hoses connected, it holds water for a good 20 minutes, so I'm not really hurting it any. If you think I am, go ahead and tell me, and if I am, I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. The one big problem that I want to fix that the car has is right here. It's going to be pretty obvious to you guys. The motor can go all the way up here and all the way back. Which it's actually not a huge deal, because when I cut that out like an idiot, and now it seems to be working out pretty damn well for me. Except this pulley, you run right there, that one, it rubs all the way down here, kind of on the frame, but I think it's already, like, okay, if you watch one of my videos when I drove it in the shop, and I think I either started it up, I'm not sure. I put it in reverse because it's on the handyman jack. You'll actually see some sparks. That's all that is. Which, it doesn't seem to be affecting the belt any. So I think it's going to be just fine, really. The pulley's rubbed up there against, it's already made marks. I think it might get as bad as it's going to get. I've looked at the engine mount, and it looks just fine. I don't know what's going on there, because I've got this mount right here. I've got one on this side, one on the transmission. They all look fine to me. I'm not real sure what in the world's going on with it. But yeah, everything on the car still seems to work just fine. The alternator works when it wants to, like normal, which is fine. I mean, it works half the time, so normally it has enough to start up my car. And I just realized there's a face on my hood, Brian must have painted. But yeah, that is the Buick, and that's really all it has to do. So I'm either going to work on the old bumper or put that new bumper on it. I'm going to plan on cutting this pipe down the middle, putting it in there if the rules allow me. I still have to figure out where I'm demoing it at. I finally got WeCrash.com to work, and it didn't have any 2012 Iowas. So I need to look into that too. The place I'd like to go this year is Oskaloosa. That's where I'd love to run this car, because that's where I'm going to college at, and I think that'd be pretty damn cool to do. Monty's car, still nothing new's happened. He attempted to vacuum up the glass one day, and it's still full of glass. So I don't know. But yeah, that's all the updates for anything here right now. So thanks for watching. Comment, tell me how your winter went. What great things you did. You know, rate my videos too if you really like to do. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not, and thank you to every one of my subscribers.